I've got a bit of a scary one here. I scared myself. I was scared of a Teletubby, so yeah. Nightmare. I dreamt I was in a cinema. I saw an advert for a film about a vampire asleep for 100 years. He slept in a Victorian furnished room off a blue painted corridor in an empty mansion. The vampire is played by an actor sleeping in the room as an adventurous child crept up the hallway. Tap, tap, tap. He woke the vampire, who jabbed his fangs into the boy's neck and preyed on the child's blood. The vampire terrorized the town, feeding on the blood of the town, gliding gracefully into people's windows, growing stronger, searching for his wife, until he found her grave. I dreamt I left the cinema and went into a field with a friend, and found a Victorian brick. We dug at it, and found a whole wall, a floor, and a doorway, leading off a blue painted corridor. Okay, this one's about the snow that we had recently. It's called the Frozen Fountain. The frozen fountain, not even cracking. Falling a foot onto rock-solid ice, painful. Kicking frozen mud, painful. The wind blowing bits off my face, cold. Ice balls hitting my back, painful. The warmth of an igloo, sheltered from the blizzard, cozy. Old snowmen, dripping. The melting fountain, the ice drifting apart. The sweetness of hot chocolate, lovely. Dave and the Sugarless Tea. My grandmother told me a story once, how she made her brother some tea. He sipped at it and began coughing and spluttering as if he were poisoned. Between the coughs and splutters, he managed to say, "No sugar." Embarrassment. On a long walk with my family, I lose sight of them. No, there's Dad. I give him a big hug. No, Dad doesn't smell like this. Dad isn't as tall as this. Dad doesn't have this good dress sense. There's Dad up ahead, laughing his head off. But he's not laughing now.
This one's called Smiles and Hugs. Sounds funny. Smiles and hugs in the playground. Now I look up at the white ceiling. Smiles and hugs. Just for one. Don't remember. A gap in time. A gap in reality. Grasping at something. Grasping at the sharp edges. They cut you. Don't. Don't look. Dig too deep. They will hurt you. Don't look dig too deep, too far in time, reality. Don't do, remember. For the nation, vaccination, for the nation, the sensation, for the nation, feeling for the light switch in the dark. Where are we going? God save the Queen, the fascist regime. Capitalism, communism, fascism, for the nation. Great Britain, yeah, right.
First I'm going to do some extracts from a journal that I did for one of my teddies, thinking from their point of view. And it's not actually my teddy, it's my friend Claire's over there with her hair down. It ripped and my mum was sewing him up and it was sort of like him healing up. So I did a little journal and I thought that I could get some extracts from it and read it here tonight. Okay. Today, 16th of the 1st, 2010, my arm was still quite sore, so I stayed in bed the whole day. I didn't get bored though. Ori sat next to my bed and didn't leave my side. All day, Ori was telling me his favourite jokes like, Knock, knock. Who's there? Interrupting cow. Interrupting cow. Moo! Knock, knock. Who's there? Little old lady. Little old lady who? I didn't know you could yodel. He was also telling me great limericks like, there was an old man of Calcutta who had a terrible stutter. He said, pass the ham and the jam and the butter. Also, I heard Beatrix recite her new poem. It's called the Bacon Rat Rap. It goes, I'm making bacon, yes, I'm making bacon. Let's all do the making rat word. Do you like it? I give it a 10 out of 10. Ori loves it too. For breakfast, once again, I went through a whole pack of ginger snaps. Each one had a block of honey on. My brekkie in bed was served to me by my good friends Ori, Honeybear 2, Brownbee, James and Jammy. Later on, Mrs. Flopsy Boo came with her son Dumpling, bringing me a bouquet from the whole of Bee's room. Tonight I will be staying at Brownbee's and Honeybear 2's house. I'll write more tomorrow. That was the first extract, and then later on, if I can find it. I can't. Oh, wait. Oh, yes, it is. I can't wait for the sleepover at Honeybear 2's and Rannaby's house later. That's why I got my homework out of the way. The game we made up yesterday was great. We thought of a game called Obstacle Hush, which is where there is a ring of tricky obstacles in a circle, and someone blindfolded sits in the middle, and another person, or Teddy, goes round the outside of them doing the obstacles. If someone blindfolded hears them doing the obstacles, they point. If they point at the Teddy/person, then the Teddy/person goes in the middle, and the person who was blindfolded before does the obstacles, so it switches around. If they don't point, then you can carry on. That's my extraction. Recently, in my mum's poetry club, I was doing some poems. First, I'll read Running into the Wall. Why is Ted getting more attention than me? I know he's taking his first steps, but still, I'm adorable, aren't I? And he's cheating. He's using a trolley. No, stop smiling at him. I'm leaving. Dumpty-dum, dumpty-dumpty-dum. I'm bored. I know. I'll set myself a task. I'll run into that wall over there. Ha! Let's see if I can remember that. I mean, it can't be that hard. I'm a big girl, now I'm 4. This is now. I can remember. I remember the white, red, blue and yellow trolley. I remember the 3 people watching Ted from the green sofa, not noticing me. I remember the white and orange patterned wall. I remember the cosy red carpet. See, I told you I could remember. It wasn't that hard. I mean, I'm a big girl now, I'm 11. The second poem I'm going to read, and my final one, is Don't. Mum says, once I touched a massive moth and I was terrified when it leapt off towards me, so don't poke moths. Mum says, once I short-sheeted your Auntie Frances's bed and it was hilarious, but not for Auntie Frances, so don't short-sheet Ted's bed. Mum says, once I put a big, hairy, chunky black spider in your Auntie Frances's bed, and after her eager to hear her scream night, she didn't. So I opened her covers to see where it was, and it scuttled out fast and shocked me, so don't put one in Ted's bed. I say, how come Mum gets to live the dream?
This poem is called There Was a Little Girl Called Karen. There was a little girl called Karen, and she crept downstairs and walked over to the window, looking for Father Christmas. Karen was upset. 5 years later, I was born. Karen was over it. Having a new sister way better than saying Father Christmas. Although she was kind inside, so I gave her some biscuits. She said no thank you. So I sat next to her in the long grass watching ponies galloping.